Hey guys, it's John. Welcome back to KC Farms. Day has not gone as it's supposed to, but we're still trucking along. So today is actually butcher day. I have not taken it down since we butchered and pieced up our first group of Cornish cross. Guess I was just kind of being lazy, but I knew another butcher was coming this weekend. Between checking out piglets, doing chores, sleep until about 7. It's about 10 o'clock now. I hate waiting this long to butcher, but it's not too hot. Shouldn't be too bad. I was gonna skip the video, but we've been following along telling you about the Freedom Rangers, and it is their day today. So they're just over 12 weeks, looking like a nice size bird. And so that is what is happening today. We won't show too much of any of the butchering, so if that stuff grosses you out, it's probably not going to see much of that. If anything, it's going to be a fast forward. But so the Rangers are 12 weeks, and we've got one more batch of Cornish this year. Guys, we've done 150-ish birds this year. These guys are ready as well. They're just over 8 weeks, so a little later this week, those will be getting butchered. Oh, head back in there, boss. So, oh, all right. So we're gonna need a few things. We need more freezer space, so we got to get a freezer. I've got to get my water boiling. I've got to go up and get ice for the coolers. But we'll follow along. We'll show you some of the processed, finished out Rangers, which the only thing I have to compare to it is a frozen Cornish, so we may get those out and check that out. But anyway, we'll start our water, turn that on, get it warming up while I run up to the store and grab some ice for the coolers. So got a couple more announcements. I don't know if I'll share them with you today or not, but if we do, it's at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And thanks for following along, and we'll show you some of these finished out Red Rangers here at 12 weeks, talk about how much money we've got into them compared to the Cornish. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for following along. Guys, we have been working all morning. I wish we'd have started earlier, but we didn't. The first big surprise I was telling you about is that Jamie has been out helping me for the last 2 butchers. She did not want to be on camera, but I've got her holding the camera now because her hair, which I know when you're butchering, your hair needs to be done up nice. But just wanted to talk about a couple of the differences. This is our last Freedom Ranger, and obviously my water was too hot and we've got some skin rippage here. But a couple of the differences between them and the Cornish. It's funny, we've had a lot of honeybees around here. It's kind of weird. But I want to show you some of the differences. And you would think that it would be opposite because the Cornish look like a fatter bird, but the skin on these guys and the amount of fat is way more than what the Cornish has. So I'm just going to go in here and pull out our 2 tubes. If you haven't seen our butchering video, I'll put a link up here and you guys can check that out. But the amount of fat and skin on these guys is way more. I'm gonna make my cut back here, and if you look right here, it's almost, I butchered 1 duck in my life, and you see all that fat right there. And I guess everyone says fat gives its flavor. The fat is where it's at. So between the Freedom Rangers and the Cornish, these have a lot more fat. It's a big old chunk right there, which I'm trying to leave in, but I keep pulling it out. But couple of the things that we noticed, they are a lot more athletic than the Cornish. Obviously, when we go to get them and bring them for the cones, they're jumping all over and running and flying. And I'm gonna save this heart. But so they're a lot more athletic, a lot more active, which makes it weird that they have so much more fat on their bodies. But we're kind of excited about that. Obviously, we don't know how they taste. These are the first ones that we've done. So we'll get a different video and we'll taste them compared to a Cornish. Let me just get the lungs out. One other thing is the cavity is obviously a lot smaller. So to go in there, that was what Jamie was talking about, is a little harder to get in there and get some of the lungs and stuff just because it's smaller. So we're trying to figure out whether it's going to be worth it or not. I think we had 14 bags of feed into these guys and probably 10 into the Cornish without me looking at my notes of how much we had. So what are some of the things that you realized? Do you remember? Put you on the spot.
They have a lot more feathers and
oh, yeah.
The fat, the smaller cavity.
Yeah, a lot more feathers in the plucker, which they came out pretty good, but I don't know if it's because it's a dark feathered bird that you can see them a lot better in the chicken, but there was a lot more feathers. And check out this fat, just a big old wad of fat on that neck. So some dog is really gonna enjoy that. But so the biggest thing we noticed, I was kind of surprised just because the Cornish look like such a fat meat bird. These ones have way more fat on them. The other thing you'll notice, once I get these legs tucked, the breasts are obviously smaller. Cornish have a huge breast. The Freedom Ranger is kind of a longer, skinnier breast, but they do have a bigger leg and thigh, which we do enjoy leg and thigh meat, so that might be a good thing. Let me get this rinsed out. We talked about the plucker. Did we talk about the plucker? I know we can bang them around in there and they last a lot longer without breaking legs. So they're like a stronger bird. Their wings and legs seem stronger than the Cornish. They can flop around in the plucker for a while and not get all broken up. So that might be a good thing too. Did I get everything? I did. So there's the Freedom Rangers. A couple of thoughts that we've had. Trying to think as we go back through the process. They were a lot harder to catch. They smell just as bad as Cornish. Jamie said that she would rather do Cornish, which is surprising to me because she's thought they were gross, but these are just as gross. And they're smaller, which it's still a nice sized bird, but you're a whole nother month at growing them and more feed putting into them. So you got to figure out what's best for your farm. Obviously, we'll taste them here in a couple of days and see how we like them compared to the Cornish. But it's just the decision you need to make. If we had to do them again, what would you pick?
Cornish.
Yeah, I think we'd stick with the Cornish. You lose a few more. They're not quite as healthy. I think we only lost 2 of these Freedom Rangers. They're a lot more active, more healthy. You don't lose as many of them. I mean, the Cornish we have now, the ones we have left, I think we maybe lost 4 or 5 out of 30. They're all looking really good. So, but that's our final decision, I think. I think we're going to stick with Cornish from here on out. And it was nice to figure this out and see what we think about them. But for the time you put into them, the money you put into them, we want a bigger product. The Cornish is a lot easier to get in and clean out. So I think KC Farms is going to stick with the Cornish cross. All right, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video. Let me over this.
Hey guys, welcome back to KC Farms. It's me, Brooklyn, and I know that my dad already ended the video, but he forgot to show you what the 2 surprises were. And can you find it? Can you see it? That's right, it's a cat. We have a girl and a boy. They're brother and sisters. This is Colby, he's the boy. This is Flo, she's the girl. We got them so we could catch our mice, because when you have a farm, there's always mice because all the food like to get your mice. No, not the food doesn't like to get your mice. The mice likes to get your food. But they are around 7 to 9 weeks old, and and they're just so playful and funny and cute. But I just wanted to show you the 2 surprises that my dad forgot to show you. And the 2 surprises are Colby and Flo. Bye guys, check you out on the next video.